Good morning, beautiful people. It's 10/15/2012 at 10:06. Wow, I'm just a bliss buzzing away as usual, and it's getting more and more intense all the time. Uh, Today's the new moon, and we're getting our fall garden put in. Got it all tilled up. It's going to be a big one too. Got it all tilled up this weekend in preparation and started planting a little bit yesterday. All the small plants we had, and today I got to go finish putting the seeds in. Over the past 2 days, I've had this bald eagle circling directly above me while I've been doing my work, and that has been really wonderful to see. I've always had my animals that have followed me around. Sometimes it's foxes, sometimes it's wolves, sometimes it's bears, sometimes it's mountain lions and eagles and stuff like that. And they're always giving me messages. They're my totems. And the bald eagle has a certain message that is quite unique to it and very different from the other animal totems that we have, and just lets me know that I'm right on track. Everything's perfect. Life is so synchronistic and so magical when you just let go, when you can release the negativities. I've got a sweet friend girl of mine that messaged me this morning that says she really wants to activate her MerKaBa, and I'd love to be able to help her on that one too. All you got to do is find your heart. You've got to find that sacred space within your heart, and you've got to learn to shift your consciousness from your head, from that ego, into that sacred space. And boy, it will change your life when that heart chakra activates. When the heart chakra activates, you feel the electromagnetic field that emanates from that sacred spot in your heart, that sacred G spot, the God spot. That electromagnetic field that you feel is your power. And that is the energy torrid that surrounds the body, and that's the beginning of the activation of the light body. And we activate that heart chakra through love, and you have to release the negativities and your attachments and your hang-ups that have kept you from feeling and being that love, and you release all that so that you can make room for your consciousness into that sacred spot in the heart. And when you get there, it's like a switch that you'll find. And when you are finding that spot, you'll feel a flutter in the heart, or you'll feel it'll take your breath away, or you might feel bliss. You might feel the heart chakra start churning, spinning around. Some people speak of the high heart up here, and I'm talking about the sacred spot within the heart. To me, that's the power center that I've found. The high heart, I'm quite sure has a very large power center of its own, but the sacred spot in the heart that I've learned to shift my consciousness into, that's where the real power is to me. And you might have a totally different experience. But when you find that sacred spot, you'll feel like your heart might skip a beat. You might feel like your breath gets taken away, and or you might feel that churn of the chakra start spinning, or the bliss, or there's so many different sensations, a tingling that emanates from that point. It when it activates, that very first sensation, I remembered it was like a little sun that was within me, about fist size, that was right there, that that I could wake up in the middle of the night and I could feel that chakra just spinning, and I would wake up in total bliss. I could have, had a really energetic or highly exercised day before, or I could have been in pain or had, any number of things that my physical body was going through, but I could wake up in the middle of the night and I would feel that bliss and feel that churning of the heart chakra spinning, and it's a very incredible sensation to experience that. When you're first coming to that point of shifting your consciousness from the head into the heart, your ego is going to start working against you. It might start sending messages to the brain saying, "Oh, I could get in here and get lost. I could lose my my connection with the brain." And you can have some fearful experiences as you're just starting to learn to shift your consciousness out. And sometimes you might get hurt and you've got that little fear of death for an instant, or you can have an out-of-body experience, or I've never really had an out-of-body experience. I've had off-planet experiences. But I was told as a child, don't leave this body. I've got to protect this body. And anyway, I have had off-the-ground experiences before in my life, and many of them. And what kept me from going further was a fear. And it's that same fear, which is ego. It's coming from the brain that makes you feel like you could get disconnected and separated, and you might get lost in it. That's an ego sensation, and you've got to learn to relinquish that, to let it go, to feel it rather than think it, to feel that the ego is there trying to call you back into the brain, and it's almost like it's like memory wire, like the old slinkies. You could pull a slinky apart and it would always come back together. Well, that's what goes on with our cording and our attachments. I don't care whether it's cording to another individual and you're cutting that cord will try to, like memory wire, return to that other person, or that other person returning to you. It's the same thing that is going to happen when you're shifting the consciousness from the head into the heart. When you get there, then there'll be things that occur within the illusion that tries to pull you back up into that duality, back into the 3-4D. It's a process of shifting and trying to cut the cord and remain there, and at first it'll try to suck you back up into the head, and the more you remain there, the less effect of that pull back into the brain has on you. And it's just a process. It's just learning how to live in a new way. It's like doing anything. We all go through changes, and sometimes when we're going through the changes initially, we don't feel comfortable. Although we know we have to go through these changes, we don't necessarily feel comfortable with what the new is. And it's the exact same thing with shifting your consciousness into your heart from your head and learning to activate it. Staying focused there for a period of time will bring the vibrational level of that heart up, and it is my understanding that it is sheerly by the fact of the consciousness moving into that sacred heart space that causes the chakra to spin at the required light speed for it to activate. How do you explain something that you've done but there's no scientific proof for? All I can do is to relate the physics that I understand as a spiritual scientist of my understanding of the process before there's been tests done to prove that this is what's actually going on scientifically. There's many of us doing these things right now. We are breaking so much new ground. Oh man, guys, there is nothing greater, no greater sensation, no greater accomplishment that one can make in an earth life than to shift that consciousness into the heart and to begin the process of ascension mastery. And the vibrational level happens. The vibrational level that you achieve at that point is so high, it's like nothing else you've ever experienced before other than being in love. And love is always the highest vibration in any dimensional awareness that there is. To achieve the next higher level of dimensional awareness, all you have to do is to achieve the highest levels of love. There's many different types of love. There's so many different types of love, but love still is the highest of each level. And truly, love is all there is, because everything is consciousness. Everything is that initial highest level of love, and it's just slowed in vibration to whatever it is that it manifests in the illusion as. Wow. Okay, we're getting deep. Anyway, yeah, activation of the heart chakra is the greatest thing that we can achieve, and when we do so, the torrid electromagnetic field that develops around the body is your higher light. That is the expansion of your consciousness. That is the expansion of your electromagnetic field that's holding the light that you're going to continually build from that point, that allows manifestations to occur within your field, your illusion, more and more readily. The manifestations occur because of the amount of light that you hold within your field and your level of vibration that you've attained. The amount of light is what is needed for your manifestation to readily occur, and the vibration that you reach by raising your physical frequency by the activation of the chakras is what determines how fast those manifestations occur. Really, really, really cool. There is a science behind ascension. There is, and you don't have to go through the ascension mastery process to go through the ascension. All you've got to do is to learn to move your consciousness from your head to your heart. That's all you got to do. The ascension mastery process, the activation of the heart chakra, the creating of the MerKaBa and the torrid electromagnetic field is part of the ascension mastery process, and that is for those persons that really want to gain control of the illusion that they experience as their life. And it's nothing but a process. All the rest of the chakras, once you finally learn how to shift your consciousness into that heart chakra, and you do that by releasing the negativities, you do that by releasing attachments, you do that by releasing a lot of your addictions or your old emotional hang-ups. You've got to clean out the closet before you can move new clothes into that closet. You've got to clean up the construction site before you can move into the building after you have built that building. And that's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. You've got to cleanse out that negativity over the many lifetimes before you can get into that sacred spot and remain there. And it's only a process, guys, and it's the beginning of a most amazing journey called Ascension Mastery. Anyway, that's enough for this vid today, and I got to get on some planning and get some seeds in the ground while it's new moon. Love you all, guys. Bye for now.